Welcome to our November editions of Questions. Just Ask. This kind of started out as to be a filler during a summer break from teaching a Bible study. And boy, it's been going on for almost 2 years now. Pretty cool. Now, I'm pretty sure most of the questions this month came from one source. And they're a little bit antagonistic, which, hey, I don't mind. Bring it on. Like I said, you can ask anything you want for any reason. But I really think behind most of the questions this month, there's a second question. So I'm going to try to address some of that. For December, we are going to look at questions concerning the birth of Jesus only. Hey, got to have a little Christmas flavor to things. So if you have any questions about anything about the Christmas story, or even Christmas, or even New Year's, or anything about the season, just send your questions in. I'll be glad to answer them. So let's take a look at this week's questions. Do you think Christians are better than non-Christians? Oh boy, that has got to be a loaded question. I'd really like to know the story behind this question. Do I think they are? No, I actually don't. And I think the scriptures prove that too. The scriptures say the heart is exceedingly wicked. Doesn't say the heart, unless you're a believer, is exceedingly wicked. No one's righteous. No, not one in the scriptures say. Our only hope comes from Jesus Christ. So no, as a human being, no, I don't think anyone's any better. Listen, I've been doing counseling now for, let's see if I can figure this out. about 22 years. And I've counseled non-believers and believers. And believers can get in just as much trouble as a non-believer. Now, while I don't necessarily believe they're any necessarily better, do I think it's better to be a Christian? Absolutely. Because you got Jesus on your side. You got God in your pocket. The problem is we just don't call on him enough. We don't use him enough. We don't put him first. That's the problem. So while I don't necessarily think anybody's any better than anybody else, I think we are better off as believers in Jesus Christ. Absolutely. We are no longer enemies of God according to the scriptures, and he loved us while we were still his enemy. And I think there's clear indication as Jesus also didn't necessarily hold anybody better than anybody else. There's only one that's righteous. That's Jesus. And our righteousness only comes in and through Jesus. So, no, I don't necessarily think they're any better than non-Christians. Why? Because we're human. Humans are bound by the flesh. We have limited abilities. Our minds are warped. We have baggage, every single one of us. So I don't know whether you've come across people who actually think Christians are better. I feel bad for the person who does think Christians are better. So, hey, thanks for joining us today. That's the first question for this month. Next week, we're going to look at another question that says, I think Christianity is boring. What do you think? Well, that's a good question. We'll take a look at that next week. Hey, thanks for joining me. See you next week.